5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
No deal, McCutcheon. That moon money is mine.
You're supposed to be tasting them.
Welcome to Sacrilicious with Robin and Snerts.
Nope. Bane, we talked about this. We need Josh. Nope. Bane. Back in the hole, Bane. Back in the hole.
I shall retrieve him. One moment, please.
Thank you.
Welcome to Sacrilicious with Robin and Snerts.
Nope. Sven.
What?
Sven, Josh. Get Josh. I don't know what he's doing, but kick her out of the room and bring him on, okay?
Okay, one moment. Welcome to Sacrilicious with Robin and Snerts, a Simpsons review podcast. I'm your lovable nerd Snerts, a.k.a. Joshua Stern. Sorry for those imposters, everybody. And joining me is the equally delightful Robin. Don't have a cow. Coward!
Hello, Josh. I am very excited for today's episode.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Fat Tony. How are you doing? How is your legitimate business club and waste management?
My day is delightful.
And how is your wife?
Oh, nagging me all the time. That's why I'm staying with my Gumar.
Very nice. Well, can you have Robin come to the microphone for me, please?
Absolutely. Oh, hey, Josh. Hey, Josh, what's going on?
Man, we have so many people in the studio.
I know, we're so discombobulated. We didn't coordinate for this early part. It got to be kind of messy, but it'll be fun.
The economy's tough, so we had to cut our entire production team, and I think they just left the front door open for us, and anybody can come in at any time.
We left out a bowl of candy. People just showed up. It was great.
Yeah. So how you doing, man? The little birdie told me that it's a Pride weekend in Atlanta.
Absolutely. The National Pride Month is June, obviously, but and that's worldwide actually, which is very cool. But in Atlanta, the June parade was hot, and there's a lot of anyway. So they moved it to October here, and it was gorgeous today. Went out and saw a lot of floats, and businesses do big groups come out and it's a big parade. It goes for like 3 hours long.
So it's marching
insane.
and there's floats and it's like a parade. That's a very apt description, man. Like you nailed that parade description.
Yeah. Well, it's but it's weird. But this like companies just have a bunch of employees marching in the parade, which is it's I love that it's a community gathering.
Sure.
In that way. Yeah, it's great.
Nice.
How about you? How are you doing?
I'm fine. I've been playing Ghost of Yote, and I'll get more of that in my shout-outs. I had a 6-day weekend, which was my final bit of PTO, and that was very nice to just have so much time off. But now it's back to work, back to the grindstone. And I've had like a lovely Sunday morning myself. I went over to the farmer's market, picked up some bagels at the local shop, walked around the neighborhood for a bit, and then, came back here to do some Simpsons fun. So if this is your first episode of Sacrilicious with Robin and Snerts, here's how it works. One of us will pick an episode of The Simpsons to discuss. We go through the plot, provide questionable impressions, and point out our favorite bits. This time I picked from Season 8, Episode 11, The Twisted World of Marge Simpson, directed by Chuck Sheets, written by Jennifer Crittenden.
Crittenden. Yeah. It's Crittenden. Yeah.
Crittenden. Yeah, woof. Sorry. Got hung up on that one, Jennifer. My bad.
I have a degree in drama, and we did a lot of voice work.
So, the first air date is January 19th, 1997.
Okay.
And I picked this episode because it's quotable as hell. There are memes that were scenes from back in the day. And it's just a very solid episode in general that focuses on Marge. And that's why I wanted to pick it, because we've been doing later episodes and I've been kind of on a low scoring streak. And I was like, you know what? Let's go back to that golden era of season 6 to 8. Have you any memories of this episode that came out in 1997?
No, it's funny because you was like, this is very quotable, and this is not one of the ones that, for whatever reason, me and my friends, kind of like really vibed with and quoted to each other. It may have been back then, but it just didn't. I didn't know this one, and yeah, it's fun to watch.
Nice. Well, let's
I'm
jump
sure
into
I've
our
seen it before. You know what I mean?
right. It
And
just
it's
didn't stick with
vaguely
you.
familiar, but it's not one of those that is instantly familiar to me. It was interesting.
All right. Well, let's jump into our first segment here. Robin has scored the halls of Simpson's Wikipedia. I've combed the halls of Wikipedia Prime, and with our research combined, we are behind the wiki. A wick,
A wick,
a
wick,
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 a wick,
a
a
wick,
wick, a
wick, a
wiki, wick, a
wiki,
wick,
wick,
a
wick, wick,
wiki.
behind the wiki.
All right. Uh, guest star Jack Lemmon as Frank Ormond, a Hollywood icon
Yes.
I know little
Ugh.
about outside of Grumpy Old Men. So
Oh,
I
Jack
know you
Lemmon.
like Jack. We've talked
Oh,
about him
yeah.
because he's the basis of Gil, right?
Yeah.
And you brought
Yeah.
up Glenn Ross. Is that the
Yes,
movie?
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
from my side, one of the interesting things was that this is before Gil Gunderson came out, which is famously our friend Phil Hartman doing his version of that Glenn Ross character, um, Gil, old Gil.
There you go. The main plot of the episode concerning the two rival snack food franchises was selected because at the time of production, pita bread and pretzels were becoming popular. And Josh Weinstein, who was one of the showrunners, producers, writers at the time, I forget whatever his correct title is, but he was kind of a little disappointed that they didn't pick foods that were kind of like everlasting and they just picked a couple trends for
Interesting.
that time. I don't remember the hot 1997 pita bread market trends out there. Like I remember
Huh.
like Greek food in general and having like pita bread, instead of like I don't know wheat bread every once in a while just to mix things
I,
up. But
I can't think of any franchises that we had in the malls here in Atlanta back in the day. We
sure,
had some local places that made good falafel. Wasn't there? There was a place. There was a spot at the mall that did a bad hero, but we had one that did way better by my house, so we really ate
yeah.
there.
So
I remember. That's
in
right.
the San Fernando Valley, it was always like a mom and pop shop who would make gyros and other Greek food that was delicious. But I don't remember it being like a trend. It was just like so it was like everything else that was in. LA area has a very diverse, rich food environment.
It's
So
one of my favorite
you
things
know,
about Los Angeles. It really
yeah.
was one of my favorite things
And
about living there.
pretzels are. I love pretzels, man. Pretzels have always been popular. I don't. When
I
did they
mean,
ever go out of fashion?
pretzels are not something that I see. Like, I like pretzels. I like hard pretzels. Like,
Oh yeah,
growing
I do
up,
too.
that's what I ate.
Yeah,
I prefer hard pretzels much more to just
the soft pretzels.
bread. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just never, it's just never, I don't know. It's not my thing.
Nice. I remember going to like Retzel's Pretzels and other places in the mall that served
Hmm.
like a nice treat, especially when I worked there and I wasn't making that much money, man. You can
Yeah.
like you could get like a $2 pretzel with some cheese dip, and that's a good
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have the Flita Pita chef with an early version of Kafkalash Man from the city of New York versus Homer
Oh,
Simpson.
gosh.
At the expo, many of the franchises were based on real franchises and get rich quick schemes. So this is my headcanon. They're like, okay, everybody, field trip. We're gonna go to a franchise expo.
Oh, really?
That's just my bullshit. I have no
Yeah.
idea
Right.
if that's real type of thing. But I do find it funny that they had probably did some research or just like kept getting scammed themselves
I
that
mean,
they
that's what
knew.
I was thinking. I mean, I guess,
Yeah.
I mean, that makes some sense. I could absolutely see that because we know that they're out there. Like, I know of, these kind of franchise expos. Have
Yeah.
have you ever worked in fast food at all back in
No,
the
I never
day?
had to work in fast food.
Where I worked at Wendy's, they talked about this franchising all the time
Oh
because it
yeah,
was
I'm
franchise,
familiar with franchising as a kid for sure.
and and so I'm sure these exist, and probably be a good thing for us to visit. We go get some free food and stuff.
There you go. So in the scene where Cletus calls out his kids, there's like too many to name. Uh, but according to Josh, these were all trendy names from the 90s.
Yeah, there's two, Rumor and Scout, which are Bruce Willis and Demi Moore's kids.
Yeah, you picked up on that. Very good.
Yeah.
In another scene, I'm sorry, the 1997 Pontiac Astro wagon that Mr. Burns wins was designed to accurately resemble the GM minivans on sale at the time, which was different. Like, it kind of stands out like a sore thumb, right? Like, we can talk about it more when we get to that wonderful part of the episode. But usually the Simpsons vehicles are just cartoonized. You know, they might resemble like one brand or another if they're really going for details. But the director was just very into like, nah, let's make it look real. The episode's final scene, the mob war, was conceived by Matt Groening, as no one else could come up with an ending.
It's like songs, you know, like there's a lot of songs. It's like you have no clue how to end it, and so you just go some random.
I mean,
direction.
ask J.J. Abrams how easy it is to set things up and not finish.
Look at J.J. Abrams. He cannot finish a movie. Drives me nuts.
What about M. Night? Well, let's bring up some M. Night. You know, it's really easy to pick some up.
Listen.
Maybe a little bit of Snyder. I'll throw in Zack Snyder.
Oh, God. Let's not. Zack
Snyder
and I are not simpatico.
There you go. The last thing that I have on my side of the Wikipedia aisle, the scene where baseball fans cause a riot by throwing pretzels after Mr. Burns wins in the car is based on an incident where the Los Angeles Dodgers, bless them, my home team, here we go, were forced to forfeit because on August 10th, 1995, fans threw promotional baseballs onto the field to protest a bad call during the 9th inning. and Vince
this
Scully,
is a famous story.
Vince Scully was still probably alive then. I could just hear him going, "And here come the baseballs."
You know, we don't give the Dodgers enough, shit for this because, you know, we love to pile on Phillies fans. Like Philadelphia fans are known to be the absolute worst fans. They're very famous for, booing Santa.
Sure.
So LA doesn't get enough credit for throwing baseballs at the
also,
players.
like anytime the Dodgers or the Lakers win, there's riots. There's always like some
car is going to be on fire.
Yeah, because that's how we show we loved our team, is by setting something on fire.
100%.
All right. So anything from your side of the aisle for the Simpsons wiki? Any weird they think like Homer's dead now because he got killed by the mob a week later?
In fact, Josh, listen, you covered all the stuff that I would have covered in here. It's a lot of just like stuff that's not that interesting. Like Marge claims that department stores Mason Gimbels are able to work alongside each other, but Agnes points out that Gimbel is no longer open. Indeed, Gimbels went out of business in 1987.
That's the joke.
We got it, right? Like it made sense.
That's like
we believe Agnes.
In the future,
believe Agnes.
We're gonna have to watch shows, and there'll be little what was that pop-up video? Do you want to click this QR code to learn about the history of Gimbels and Sears?
I do enjoy some of that. As you know, actually, there's one that we're going to talk about later. It's still a lovely place to go. The Simpsons Wiki, if anybody wants to, find out about an episode, it's a great place to go. But it's those later seasons where they just have that nonsense in there.
I recommend all our listeners go onto the Simpsons Wiki and write whatever the hell you want.
I was actually thinking about seeing how I would go about updating it.
You can be
because I would love to, and because I just am watching all these episodes that don't have anything, and I'd be great. I would love to do it. And I have a lot of time on my hands.
We get a chalkboard and couch gag, so we're kind of back into the old classic mix. We've been out of that loop for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Bart writes, "I am not licensed to do anything." Sounds about right. Sounds good. What was he licensed for?
Little
could have been anything. So the Mallet Carnival game where you are punching gophers or whatever with the clown music playing.
Whack-a-mole, yeah.
All right, well.
Of course, Homer gets beamed.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, now let's have some fun. The episode opens with Edna, Maud,
Finally.
Marge, Agnes, Luann, and Helen at the Municipal House of Pancakes for an Investorettes meeting.
The
Obviously, this is
Municipal House of Pancakes is great.
obviously an IHOP parody. They even have the tray of 4 or 5 syrups in the
Yeah, yeah,
foreground of the
absolutely. Like
table, right?
they used to have like the boysenberry syrup and all that crap.
Yeah,
But
and they're very professional. They have charts. They have the meeting sign, and apparently their portfolio is doing well. And they discuss what to do with the money. My favorite idea comes from Agnes. Children are so fat today. Isn't there some way we can make money off of that? And a good old Tress McNeil
children are
killing
so fat today. Can't we do
Tress.
something with that?
I got to shout out
It's
Tress McNeil real quick because she is just fantastic. She also has done the
no,
voice of
absolutely.
Jimbo, Dot, Babs Bunny from
Yep.
Tiny Toons, and Grandma from Futurama, who's like the Mr. Burns
Oh yeah,
female.
yeah.
And she always kills it as
Yeah.
Agnes. And you and I love her in this episode, don't we?
So listen, this episode opens with her going, "The pancakes here stink." You know, it's just perfect. It's just great.
Not
And
to
they're
like
like, "Shut up, Agnes."
not to like throw shade too much on like the other ladies, but they're kind of, like milquetoast suburban moms.
Uh-huh.
They all have their own little bit of personalities. Like Helen's a little bit more gospel, Maud
Yep.
is her thing. Luann is just kind of in the background and is actually gone for part of the episode.
Yeah,
And
Maud
then
has a few lines, but yeah.
Edna is kind
Luann
of like
has almost none, I think.
Edna is like like the cool girl, the gal that is still single and sleeps with people, but she still like wants to be part with the gals.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And she's another one. I mean, they wanted to have this large group, but they don't have Agnes. Edna speak all that much either. Her Luann almost none, and Helen. Maud very little as well.
I would say that Edna, Maud, Luann, and Helen are interchangeable when it comes to the dialogue.
I do. I put ladies.
Right. So it's interchangeable, and then
I felt a little bit like sexist,
Eh,
like not
but
even giving them their due.
they're basically moving the plot along, and then Agnes is the one with like the really good punch up like tag of a joke.
I mean, I gotta give a shout out to Helen. She plays a huge part in this episode, and she's so fucking evil.
Yes.
She thinks she's always right because she's married to the Reverend.
Yep.
And, in any situation, she tries to prove that she's better than everybody else. Yeah,
I mean,
she's
Helen
a
is
villain
so
in this.
annoying that
She's
they
a definite
literally
villain in this,
use
yeah.
her character in the punditry and the news of today to talk about
Yep.
people clutching the pearls because she's famous for saying, "Won't somebody think of the children?
Won't somebody think of the children?" Wonderful.
So the portfolio, like I said, has been doing well. And Helen recommends buying a franchise at the local fair the next day. And everybody's on board except for Marge. And throughout this episode, Marge really wants to like do something, but she's very hesitant. So she's very much like one step forward, 2 steps back type of approach to
Well,
things.
and we established that in the previous scene when she says during the investors, before they kick her out, I guess I'm just not comfortable with the whole idea of investing. And she's in an investment club.
Right. And I love that like she goes, "I'm not wild about these high risk ventures. They sound a little risky." "Oh, Marge, you are such a wet blanket. Yeah, if we listened to you, we wouldn't have sponsored that Mexican wrestler." And they held up a sign, "El Bombastico."
El Bombastico, that's his name.
Oh, man, I want more El Bombastico in my life. And then Agnes skills with her crotchety old voice, "And yet she still gets all the profits." So basically, she's voted
You're
out.
hating so hard on Marge.
It turns into the Investorettes versus Marge for the rest of the episode. They kick her out. She gets her initial investment of $500 refunded, and Helen doesn't even want her to finish the breakfast. She's like, "Your pancakes will be sent in the mail."
Right.
And then Marge is telling the family,
ushered off the team.
and Marge is telling the family of what happened at dinner, and then like, "What do you like Homer's reply as much as I do?"
So Marge is like, and then they gave me back my $500 investment and kicked me out of the club. Homer goes, wait. Back up a bit. when are the pancakes coming in the mail? It's
Because
so Homer. It's
he's
so
gonna
Homer.
eat that pancake.
That was probably my biggest like laugh out loud of this episode was like,
It's very reminiscent of him and the sandwich. You know?
the 6-footer. Is this
Yeah,
what we're
of
talking
course. What other sandwich would I be talking about?
about? That's a phenomenal episode. We've got to do that sometime. That is wow.
So Homer also mentions the family will be fine as long as he can work, and then we get a great animated bit here. They're eating hot dogs and French fries. He's holding a hot dog in one hand. He pokes his eye out with it, and then throughout the rest of the scene, as the expedition and dialogue is moving forward, we see him like blinking and kind of like you can tell like it's aggravated.
His eye is bothering him. It's great. It's great.
We also maybe have a goof. It looks like Lisa
Ooh.
is also eating hot dogs and fries, and at this point, she would have been a vegetarian, as that episode was in season 7. Now,
The Paul McCartney episode, he did the Simpsons with the caveat that Lisa had to go vegan from them on out, and she would not eat
or at least
the
vegetarian.
rest of the time. Yeah, sure.
It also could be a vegan hot dog. We don't really know. I just wanted to be nitpicky, and when you watch an episode as many times as we do for these, like you find little things.
Are the balls dirty, Josh?
Yes, they were. That bugs me so much. I still think about that scene every once in a while. I'm like, why were the walls dirty? All right, Tony, we're all set up here in the booth. If you could just please take it from the top whenever you're ready.
Okay. Pretzels. It's an ancient treat that has delighted people for centuries.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you there. Could you punch up the energy just a bit?
What do you mean, punch up? Would you kindly provide some clarification?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking something like, pretzels, an ancient treat that was delighted people for centuries.
I see. Well, it seems you should do the ad read instead of myself. Maybe I'm incapable of capturing the moment you desire.
No, not at all. Tony, I'm sorry. Your read was fine.
Are you sure? We all want to deliver a quality product, do we not?
Of course. I'm so sorry. Please just ignore my comments. I was wrong.
If you insist. Pretzels is an ancient treat that has delighted people for centuries. A perfect addition to any social gathering, especially if nacho penetration is less than total.
Lisa encourages Marge to get her own franchise, and go to the expo. Like just because the investors are going doesn't mean you can't go. So we're off to the franchise expo where you can make your non-sexual dreams come true. What did you think of that?
That's a fantastic headline there. It's great.
My God, there's like that just means that there were some sexual dreams in the previous expo, which is why they had to put a qualifier.
So I had to rewind that because I was distracted and I looked over and all I saw was exual and I was like, wait, what? What does that say?
You're like, my spider senses are tingling.
Which makes all of your non-sexual dreams come true.
And we get started with a really well animated and designed Investo the Robot of the planet Opportuniac encouraging you to enter. But he keeps like flailing his limbs and they can't get in.
He says, my superior brain advises you to enter the franchise fair.
And what does Bart do?
Bart's like, because he's blocking their way in. Bart's like, I got y'all. He takes his soda, he just pours it down what would be its pants.
Yeah, like an open import. He Luke Skywalker that shit. He hit the open exhaust port.
Exactly.
And then I love. Okay, this whole scene is fantastic. It is jam packed with background jokes, with front jokes, with just random one-liners that I enjoy. First up, Roy McClutchin explaining what a franchise is.
Well, that's the miracle of the franchise. You get all the equipment and know-how you need, plus a familiar brand name people trust. You'll be on a rocket ride to the moon. And while you're there, would you pick up some of that nice green moon money for me? Royce McCutcheon.
No deal, McCutcheon. That moon money is mine.
I've heard that so many
It's
times.
great.
It's a
It's
more
great.
diehard Simpsons fan. Like if I know someone's in the weeds and we've already been getting the bangers out of the way when we're swapping quotes, eventually it's going to be like, well, how about that moon money? No deal, McClutcheon. That moon money is mine.
Absolutely.
Next is you and I both love this person even more, the picture perfect salesman who's trying to fix the terrible problem of crooked frames and pictures.
I love it. He's like, I don't want to alarm you, but scientists say 40% of American pictures are hanging crooked. Yes, it's true, and I hear you asking, who's going to straighten out all of these artistic abominations? Your friends? Your neighbors? Those fat cats in Washington? Good luck. It's just so perfectly written. It's so good. And I love always throwing like those fat cats in Washington in there. It's just such a cheap sales tactic. It's
And then
great.
Marge is buying it too because he's like he says something else. He's like, well, I guess maybe it'll just fix itself. Well, now you're being naive. Well, it sounds like you're ready to be a brand new owner, and we'll give you this great package for a minimal franchise fee. You'll receive a pair of straightening gloves, a canister of wall lubricant, and a booklet of the most commonly asked questions you will hear, including "Who are you?" and "What are you doing here?"
I love that line so much.
And those are one of my favorite voices. I love the Simpsons, just everyday random people trying to sell you stuff.
Absolutely.
Like I never know if it's Hank or Harry or Dan, but like it I just love their old. It's almost kind of like the Chuck Daly. Hey everybody, I'm here to tell you about giving Hitler what for. But it's
exactly
a little
right.
bit different. But like it's so good.
And then a joke that they do in this scene is have Marge take this absolutely nonsense sales driven dialogue and like respond to it as if it was a real
very
question,
earnestly. Very earnestly. Yeah.
And that's a great joke. They do that a lot throughout the history of the show, and it's really well done. It's very funny here.
And then Marge grumbles at disappointment because again, like even though she was kind of excited and engaged in that, it's like one step forward, two steps back.
Yeah.
And she continues.
She's like, why am I even here?
Then she runs into Maud, Helen, and Edna. For some reason, Luann is gone. I guess she couldn't make the expo. Maybe she had to do something with Millhouse. And then she couldn't remember somebody's name. And if you could play the Agnes clip for me.
Hello, Helen?
Marge?
Edna?
Marge?
Oh, my name is Agnes, and you know it's Agnes. It means lamb. Lamb of God. I'm sorry, Agnes. Marge?
Marge.
I love
it means
tension.
Lamb of God.
You can feel the tension though. Like that's how people in the suburbs fight. That was like white people.
Lamb.
That was like white people who are like well off fighting in the suburbs. Like Marge.
It's an Agnes heavy episode, and is all the better for it. Yeah, I love the next booth they go to. They cut to Homer, and he's at Disco Stews. He's selling like disco franchises.
Because he talks about how the disco sales in '76 were up 400%, and he does a classic Fonzie. He's like, "If these trends continue, hey."
and then we both love. He puts his feet up on his boots up on the desk, and he's got the belt. The what are those damn boots called?
The platformers.
Platform boots with the goldfish.
Yep. And then Homer points out, your fish are there. Yeah, I know. I can't get him out of there.
She's got dead fish in these shoes.
I love Disco Stew.
Horrifying. It's horrifying.
In the DVD commentary, I actually got around to it for this episode. They mentioned how like this is early Disco Stew before he became kind of like a mainstay.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because I think before this he was in like there was a yard sale and Homer ran out of studs for his jacket, and instead of saying Disco Stud, it said Disco Stew, and he's like, "Hey Stu, you should get that jacket. Disco Stew doesn't advertise." Disco Stew and Duff Man, I would like to see in like a buddy cop situation.
Okay.
This scene, like we're only a few minutes into this heavy joke franchise part. But now we're hitting the investor rats and we're moving the plot forward a little bit. And because they walk up to the fleet of Pita and they're very impressed with the food.
well, they're impressed. At first they're suspicious. Helen's like, Pita? Well, I don't know about food from the Middle East. Very xenophobic and.
Well, then I love the back and forth too, because then the sales rep goes, "Hey, I'm no geographer. You and I, why don't we call it pocket bread, huh? Mod, what's a tahini? Flavor sauce and falafel crunch patties. So we'd be selling foreign food, specialty food. Here, try it, Ben Franklin."
In the falafel sandwiches.
So and to paint a little bit of a picture here, all of the colors are red, white, and blue. It's very, very high and promotional. There are people passing out flyers. They're all wearing the same outfit. So this is the high-end franchise. This is like the McDonald's, but like with Pita type of situation. And I also love this next part because we get introduced to Chef Christopher.
That is good. What's in it?
Tabula and resme kebab.
That's our chef, Christopher.
Blach voor echt is somchi. Duos karacha pusadiki. Kiktakara mas.
Kalash.
And that is the guy who would eventually show up in Homer versus New York with the Mountain Dew or crab juice.
Ew! Give me the crab juice.
Why they drink so much crab juice? There you go. We just did the New York episode. Nailed it.
There you go. Nailed it.
And now we get introduced to Frank Ormond, who is played by the guy what's his
Jack
name?
Lemmon.
Oh yeah, of course, Jack Lemmon.
Jack Lemmon, Odd Couple. He, The Apartment was, huge movie back in the day. We got, and Grumpy Old Men. That's all I know.
That's my favorite. I love Grumpy Old Men. So good.
No, he's been in a ton of stuff. He's done a billion things.
Yes. And I am being a little facetious. It's just one of those people I just never saw his movies on the regular. I've seen him.
Yeah, they're old now. I mean, he was in the 60s making some of those early ones like The Apartment.
On the commentary, they mentioned about how he passed a couple of years, I think, after this episode. And they're like, it's the Simpsons curse. And they're like, no, we just like old people. They're already on their way out.
Right. Like, no, we hire older actors. Marsha Walt, come on.
So Frank picks out Marge from the crowd. And basically, it's just like, hey, you sound like me. Well, the old me, which was, ironically, the young me. I was once like you were, young lady, like all these people, lost in a sea of flashy gimmicks and empty promises. Then God tossed me a life preserver, a tasty golden brown life preserver, and gives her a pretzel. She tries it.
Well, see, it's funny because he does that whole speech, then he goes, here, try a pretzel. Almost like Burt Lancaster and Field of Dreams,
Sure, yeah. And it's a good pretzel.
It's not bad.
And it's also not bread. Get it?
It's
not
terrible.
bread. Not
terrible.
Not
K-N-O-T, like a knot that you tie on your shoelace.
I mean, surely anybody would understand that pun.
Anybody would understand that pun. And don't call me Shirley.
There you go.
Pretzel Wagon pretzels are made daily from fresh ingredients. They are not only not bad, but they are not bread. I'm sorry, not bread. How can you use the fresh ingredients and have it be not bread?
Sir, it's just a pun.
Is there not dough? Does it not get baked? Make this make sense to me.
Tony, it's not a knot, it's a knot, you know?
No, I don't know. Pretzel Wagon pretzels are not bread. This is bad copy. Who wrote this?
That was me, Tony. Pretzel Wagon makes the pretzels, and I guarantee you it is bread. I mean, the pun is like a rope knot, thus not bread.
Is it bread or is it not? This is idiotic and a waste of my time. Good day, gentlemen, and may we never cross paths again.
All right, so we're going to cut to the new owners of Fleet of Pita. There's a big announcement. Music is playing. There's like one of those giant circles with like the flimsy paper that people bust through.
That you bust through.
And they give basically what's the music that's playing?
Let's hear for the newest members of the Fleet of Pete franchise: Maud, Helen, Agnes, Luann, Edna, Bart.
Bart's just like going up.
You're number one. And then of course he's like gang tackled by the cops.
He's dragged off by security for sure.
Like dragging him off in handcuffs, and he's like, "Oh, get off me, cop!" It's great. It's great.
And then that pushes Marge over the edge, and she's just like, "How much? $500, perfect, exact amount of the investment that she did previously."
And then she's so excited, the franchise.
And she's just like, "Oh my god, what's my territory?" And then Frank responds with what?
He's like, "Your territory? Let me tell you, wherever a young mother is ignorant of what to feed her baby, you'll be there. Wherever nacho penetration is less than total, you'll be there. Wherever Bavarian is not quite full, you'll be there." Marge pops up. "Don't forget fat people. They can't stop eating." And of course, that immediately Homer shows up and it's like, "Ooh, pretzels."
Then we get a little fade to black and we're back from the ad.
I love this part.
Back home, Marge is watching the Pretzel Wagon VHS intro tape. There's a silly bit of
intro
video to a desk starting the recording. And like we were saying, like before we started recording our own episode, I feel like this is how we would do our fake ads if we had a video component to it, where we like place a still camera somewhere, and then because we don't have a production team, we hit record, we put into our initial places.
Yeah. Well, listen. So Josh, at the time, what you would record was on like VHS. So editing wasn't really a thing.
Right. No, I had a VHS camcorder like growing up.
Yeah, they were great. Yeah. And what's funny is that, he sets it up and then he walks over around the desk, like starts the scene, looks at the papers, and then he turns and he's like, "Oh, hello."
Yeah.
It's great.
So Frank goes, he's like, "Hello, I'm Frank Ormond. And if you're watching me, that means you've got pretzel fever and not like the kind that attacked my intestinal lining some years back." The laugh is so specific and so Gill-like. It's so great.
The scene here is a little funny where they have a scene where they're setting up the office in the garage for Marge, and there's some fun stuff with Bart, and they have a thing where he says something about, and you can use your garage door opener like it's a futuristic entryway. And Ned comes walking by and Homer presses it and it kind of like goes down in his face.
And it's a very well animated thing because Ned bends over with the rhythm of the closing door.
Like,
so it's basically almost like a montage, but instead of music, it's Jack, right? So like doing
he's given ideas about how to grow the franchise.
And then the next one is passing out flyers, and he recommends a phony ticker tape parade. Cut to like them throwing flyers off a roof, and they're driving in this gorgeous like 50s 60s looking automobile with like Lisa in the back with a space helmet on, and then wake up like with a tear in his eyes. He's like, "Welcome back, space girl."
It's great. And the whole town's turned out for this ticker tape parade for the returned astronaut, and it's not like realistic. Like she's wearing like something she made out of crushed paper on her head with like antennae coming up,
I mean, it almost looks like she went back to John's camp store, right?
Yeah.
And looked for an old 50s alien, thing.
Exactly. It's exactly like it's exactly right. Like for the 60s television shows where they always had the antenna coming out of their heads.
And I just Wiggum is only in a couple scenes, but each one is golden.
Welcome back, Space Carl.
Yeah. All right, so with the last one, he's like, "And then you're cooking the pretzels," and he opens up the ingredients. He's like, "Look out for millipedes."
That's such a random joke, but they do it's all about the animation where it shows him opening it up, and there's like bugs crawling all through it.
And another, Jack Lemmon, like,
exactly.
So the camera pans through a messy kitchen, and we see Homer in an official pretzel inspector hat and badge. He thoughtfully checks the product with what looks like a monkey wrench.
Oh, Josh, it's not a monkey wrench.
No?
A monkey wrench is like a huge wrench that you would
Yeah, no, I
like
played video games.
loosen.
Yeah, I hit
Would like
zombies with them.
loosen. Right. He's like
Yeah, I
that,
hit
but it's
zombies
like
with them.
loosen a really tight, big, lug, on some huge industrial machine. What that is a caliper. It is calipers.
Oh.
Yes, is the proper way to say it,
Oh.
and it's to measure width and length.
I was never good at measuring width or length. I was never
It'd
good
be
at
funny
measuring
if he
either
was
of
trying to
those.
measure the pretzel with the monkey wrench.
Gotcha. All right, so they're off to the plant because why not? That makes sense. You got your new business. Let's try to go where all the hungry guys are and give them a treat. So with a giant pretzel on the station wagon too. What did you think of the accoutrements on the station wagon? You have like this giant, like it looks like it's on a spring.
It's like on a spring, right? It's just like bouncing back and
I
forth.
used to imagine
It's just reminiscent of like what we would see, and usually with I don't remember any fleets having that, but a lot of like local places would have something that kind of looked like that.
I mean, the only thing I remember is like the various pizza places putting the magnet, like wannabe sirens on top.
Yeah.
So
This is reminiscent of like early '80s. I think that was more of a thing. The spring, like literally sitting on the spring, kind of wobbling around.
They haven't figured out magnets yet by the 80s.
It's new science, Josh. If you believe in science.
No. We get a little hey, what's all that commotion outside? Why, it's one of those pretzel wagons the movie stars are always talking about. Here at our plant?
Yeah.
That's right, Lenny. Let's all give in to deliciousness the pretzel wagon way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Homer's right.
And then Homer chimes up and he joins the crowd, even though he's inciting the crowd. He's like, hey, yeah, Homer's right. Hey, we should listen to Homer.
And that was ad-libbed.
Was it?
Yes.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah. It cracks me up that's the case, because it's one of those small things that stands out in these episodes that we love so much.
I mean, there's another episode with the scene where it's like, shouldn't everybody have equal processing rights, and like, shouldn't there be justice for all? Eventually, you're like, but yeah. All right, so now we get a very fun part because everybody's very excited at the plant. They're hook, line, and sinker. The hairnets are coming on. They're pouring out of the office, and then they get into line, and we get what?
Lenny stands up, and again, the pretzel shop only sells one thing, and Lenny's sitting there like, I'll have let me see, I'll have one of
Hey, I want my pretzel here. Hurry up.
And so finally Lenny's like, let me get a pretzel. And then Carl, who had just like ushered him forward, steps up. He's like, you know what, I'll have a And then Mr. Burns chimes up and he's like, come on, while we're young. But it's a little bit painful. Like they both get up there and they just can't figure out what to buy. And
there's a sign that says pretzel $1. Like, it's a very simple sign. It's all it's there.
Nothing to choose between.
$1, one pretzel.
So good. It's so good. And then it's even more frustrating because literally she's only sold one pretzel at this point, and the fleet of Pita truck comes barreling in, blasting, "Don't stop thinking about tomorrow," and everybody turns.
And he shouts out and he goes, "Wow, check out that van. It looks like it doesn't even need our business."
Exactly. Because it's flashy, because the Marge is sitting on the back of her car like a real entrepreneur.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Marge confronts the investorettes, but they just say, hey, it's just business. And there's some back and forth. Is there any of the back and forth that stood out to you?
Well, they're being cold to Marge, and Marge is like, well, I guess Macy's and Gimbel's learned to live side by side, like they're gonna compete. And it's like, Gimbel's is gone, Marge, long gone. You're Gimbel's.
All right, so for the next scene, I get one of my favorite Cletus bits ever. This is so amazing. If you could just start us off with the 300 coupon clip to get things rolling.
So Cletus has waved them down as they're driving home.
Correct.
And Marge is very excited because she's had a tough day so far.
That'll be $300.
Hey, I don't think so. I got me 300 coupons.
I should have said limit, one per customer.
Should have butted in us. So hand them over.
So Cletus is excited because the kids are eating tonight. Do you have that kids one?
Yeah.
Hey, kids, we're eating dinner tonight. Come on, Tiffany, Heather, Cody, Dylan, Dermot, Jordan, Taylor, Brittany, Wesley, Rumor, Scout.
See the little footprints?
Rumor, Scout.
That has to be all his kids, right? I mean, I know they're poor and they procreate like crazy. But
I don't think so.
What?
Cassidy, Zoe, Chloe, Max, Hunter, Kendall, Caitlin, Noah, Sasha, Morgan, Kira, Ian, Lauren, Hubert, Phil.
So my favorite one is Hubert, which is
the
an old
man.
video game for the 80s.
Yep. But also that ties into our behind the wiki part where this was mostly famous 90s, but there was also some celebrity kids in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you remember the celebrities that were...
No, I only call it Rumor and Scout.
That's the one. Yep, that's the one they brought up in the DVD commentary. So when you brought that up in our pre-production, I was like, oh, look at this guy.
Yeah. No, I looked it up on the wiki. Actually, I'm just playing like I was sitting looking at the wiki pages you were talking about it.
Well played, sir. Well played.
I wanted to have something to say, Josh. I wanted to feel important about myself.
All right, so we're back to the garage, and obviously Marge is not feeling great. She sees the poster that she hung up before with the whole hanging there baby with the cat on the clothesline. And I love what she said. She goes, "You said it, kitty. Wait a minute. Copyright 1968? Huh. Determined or not, that cat must be long dead. That's kind of a downer." And
it's
Marge's
true.
emotional presence in this one. It's just so sad. Like, it's just like, man, I'm trying so hard.
She's trying so hard. It's a big part of the episode that she's really trying, and it's really like upsetting her that she has this dream and everything seems bent against it.
And she's making a good product that like the people who have actually eaten it enjoy.
Right. It's exactly right.
And that's why Lisa walks in and recommends going to a big event. So we cut to probably our favorite part of this entire. We go to the Springfield War Memorial Stadium for free pretzel day. It's baseball time, everybody.
And she's handing free pretzels out to the entire crowd, trying to garner up some business.
And I also like how this wasn't planned, but we're in the middle of Major League Baseball playoff action. And here we go with one of the best Simpsons baseball scenes ever.
Yeah.
So Marge and the family are passing out the pretzels, like he said, and it's so well animated because, like, everybody in the crowd is about to take a bite, and then there's an announcement. You want to talk
ladies
about
and gentlemen, a winner has been chosen for today's giveaway, and the 1997 Pontiac Astro Wagon goes to the fans sitting in seat number 0001. C. Montgomery Burns.
And the camera pans across the crowd as the announcer is speaking. And like, I love how as it pans, the eyebrows start to get like angry. And he hops into a very realistic, like we said in the wiki segment.
But he's like so chuffed. He's so chuffed, like walking over there too. Like he's like looking at the crowd like they're all cheering at him.
Yeah.
But they're boo earns.
And if we can have that clip, here comes the pretzels.
The fans do not like this one bit.
And here come the pretzels.
No, don't do that. You're supposed to be tasting them.
It's very much Vin Scully there. And here comes the pretzel.
Yeah, and then it continues too, and he's like, Hall of Famer Whitey Ford now on the field, pleading with the crowd for some kind of sanity.
Uh-oh, and a barrage of pretzels, now knocking Whitey unconscious. Wow, this is a black day for baseball. It's so well done because it's just them like narrating this thing just like a baseball game
And
Really
for us
well
who grew up
done.
like in the LA area with Vince Scully, like when you hear "and here come the pretzels," like it's so
It's
perfect.
evocative.
Yeah.
And then, they cut from, Whitey Ford. He looks old, like he
Yeah,
looks
he
like a
looks old.
coach.
Yep.
And then it pans away, and then it cuts back, and he's just sprawled on the ground.
The
It's
reason they did that
phenomenal.
is because they didn't know how to animate enough pretzels hitting a grown-ass man to knock him out. So it was much easier to do a fast cutaway, and it actually worked better for the humor as well.
It's great. He's just sitting there sprawled. Oh, Whitey, poor Whitey.
And then back home, Bart is trying to put a positive spin on the situation, saying
Yeah.
thousands of people saw pretzels knocking out Whitey Ford, and then Homer chimes in, "You can call them Whitey Whackers."
You can't buy publicity like that. We loved Whitey Whackers.
Ugh. When I was like a young video gamer, and I'm glad I didn't stick with Whitey Whackers as my screen name. Like, I don't think it would come off as good today as it would have yesterday.
I don't know. I think it is particularly needed today. I would love to be a Whitey Whacker. There are many Whiteys that I would whack.
Marge is super depressed. Listen to she gives this like a whole speech of listen to your mother, kids. Aim low. Aim so low no one will even care if you succeed. Dinner's in the oven. If you want butter, it's under my face. Because like she's like, as she's speaking, like she keeps drooping down in the animation style. It's so
Yeah,
sad.
she's slumped on the kitchen table. It's hard to watch. I mean, she's really down in the dumps. But you're right. The scene, dinner's in the oven. You want some butter? It's under my face. And it's a classic line in this one.
Also, I love how Homer is actually a good husband in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wants to help.
He's very much trying to help. And so he gets in the car and he's like, Marge needs help. And God knows I'm not the man to provide it. But I know who can. And there's the, pretzel pamphlet. And so he goes and he's going to try and look up Mr. Pretzel Man.
It just shows a certain level of intelligence for Homer that he knows when he's not qualified for something. That is rare. It doesn't happen all the time. But every once in a while, he's like, you know what? This isn't for me.
It's a smart decision that he makes because his wife is really in trouble.
It's too bad that he made a bad choice to rectify the decision.
So he shows up at the house, and it's like a nice little chintzy house. He's like, "Oh, the Pretzel Man's doing well for himself."
Yeah, there's all these like little like gnomes on the garden, and like other like pink flamingos and other weird like lawn ornament shit.
Yeah. It's an odd home, but he gets inside and it's a funeral, and like he's asking the reader person, he's like, where is the Jack Lemmon, whatever his name is,
Frank?
And she's like, there he is, he's dead. And he's like, he's looking around, and where was there the pretzel,
it was a pretzel shaped bouquet.
There's like on the side the table they have like snacks, and it's just pretzels piled like 4 feet high. It's like over. And Homer, being the master of the moment, is like, oh, well, I'll just speak to the executor of the will then. And she's like, here he is. And there's another coffin right next to him. They are open coffins, and they're showing these gray dead people in the coffins. Yeah. And she's like, there he is. He was in the car too. So it's a very upsetting scene, but Homer does not have any help.
But he has one more hope. We see him in the church, but God can't help him. The mob will, thankfully. And I love how Louis chimes in. He's like, you see, boss, I told you that ad in the church bulletin would pay off. I also, in my brain, always get Louis and Legs mixed up, man. I always think Legs
Louis
is the guy
the
with
most
the fro,
common.
And then Louis is the one with the slicked back hair. I always get it backwards.
This other way. Yeah.
So that's fun.
But so it's Homer praying.
Right. It's very deceiving. The initial shot is deceiving. Yeah. The next morning, it's 5:30 in the morning, and the phone rings. Marge is just like, "What the hell is this?" And she's like, "Wait, 300 pretzels? Where do I send them to?" The Meatpackers Union Hall in Batavia, New York. It's just, I always love their like they do a very good job of waste management.
Yeah,
Meatpackers
absolutely.
Union.
Absolutely.
And now we get
the Meat Packers Union Hall. Absolutely.
now we get
Absolutely.
a montage, and the music track is named "The Lion Man," and it's
Well,
very catchy. Da-da-da,
real quick,
da-da-da.
that last scene, it's really funny. Is Homer in that scene? If you watch, he's like
Oh, sure. Let's talk about
smiling.
Homer's reaction. Yes,
He's
go for it.
smiling throughout the whole thing,
But his eyes are kind of like half
yeah,
staffed. You know what I
like
mean?
he's got a secret, and
Like he's very sly. He's like, hey.
and so it's nice to see because he's so excited that he's helped Marge out now.
Much like Mr. Burns and Smithers with like, they couldn't be here. He had a whole thing of like,
Exactly.
I had a feeling it would work out.
Exactly.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean?
And then this montage we get, it's the toughs going around town
Right.
and making Marge's business more appealing.
So
But
it's
you
a
said that it was
it's
from
a
the
it's a
Goodfellas,
mix.
you said.
Yeah, it's from the Goodfellas according to the DVD commentary.
Mhm.
And it's a montage that shows various things. It shows the mob kind of muscling out other food vendors,
Mhm.
in addition to like Marge making sales, and it's intercut with pretzels lowering from giant stacks, and then money stacks growing from
Yes,
large
yes.
stacks.
I love one of the vendors is Mole Man's hot dog
Yeah,
cart. And they
yeah,
just
and then we
keep
get
it
Fat
around.
Tony being like, "This is a pretzel town now."
It's great. It's great.
But our equally favorite one of all is when a limo
Mhm.
drives up to the county line and you see a gun pointing out the car door. Girl Scouts with boxes of cookies come out, and they are left there to their own
At the
devices.
city limits, yeah. Just outside. Don't come inside the city limits anymore. They're just gonna have to move now, Josh.
And then the next scene is not as funny as threatening schoolgirls, but it's Skinner involved.
I really like this scene.
It's great. We got Marge coming up, and she's very concerned about like the sale, right? She has a quote here. You want to give that one?
She's like, "Are you sure this is enough nutrition for the kids?" And Skinner's like, "Yes, I am sure it is great." And she's like, "Oh my God, what happened to your hand? His hand is all bandaged up."
Boating accident.
From off to the side, and he goes, "I believe it was a boating accident."
And then you hear the gun click, and then you see a laser pointer up to his head.
Now. Yeah, he's clearly being coerced from like 4 inches away from the door.
And it wasn't.
How'd you hurt your hand? Boating accident. I believe it's a boating accident.
It was. He had no jacket on. The tie was disheveled, and he had a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, he's got a 5 o'clock.
It's been obvious that he's been there like overnight being tortured.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And the mobster tactics don't stop there. We cut to the dock, and Helen is complaining that her supplies aren't being unloaded. Louie informs her the ship has been impounded, and the reason seems to be suspect. And we get our second great Wiggum bit of the episode.
Yep. Yeah, we found a couple of barnacles in the hull.
That and the deck was wet. That's crazy. And what are those men doing under my van? I mean, you just like see like 3 or 4 guys run out of the van.
Running away. Yeah, like they're under it, then they run away.
Look, lady, if I were you, I would just leap in the air as I'm preparing to do.
And then the van blows up. Classic explosion type of thing. Like it's the ending of Demolition Man or some other action film.
I mean, they blew up their van. I mean, like they didn't just like, stop their supplies,
right?
Which was been a good. No, they put a bomb on the van and exploded it. It's
this was. It's almost like BB Netanyahu was head of the mob for this one.
Lord, too late, Josh. It's too late. McGlosh.
Well, hello, Chef Christopher. This is Helen Lovejoy. Me and the gals wanted to talk to you about some of our Flita Pita recipes. I hope now is a good time.
Hagsalash, Migladoshkash.
Well, they are a bit flavorful, aren't they?
Miglash, Tagsalash.
We were thinking perhaps, maybe we could use mayonnaise instead of tahini.
Salash Nasakash Nagash Miklash Delmosh.
Those are definitely words. And how about replacing olives in the salad with grapes? Wouldn't that be better?
Nosh. 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 Nosh.
Sounds like a yes to me. One last thing, Edna. I was wondering if you could remove the chickpeas from the falafel. The name reminds her of her son's filthy bathroom time. Have a think about it, won't you, hon?
Dagmanash ish kaput.
Thanks, hon. Love and hugs. We'll be in touch. Bye-bye now.
Magalash. This lady crazy.
So at Moe's, Homer pays with cash, and it's a 50. And Moe is like, "Come on, Homer, your money's not good here. Wait a minute, this is real.
It's his money." Yeah, old Marge is raking it in is the implication.
And then he immediately goes to the bathroom. We're just assuming that, he had to go. That happens. It did feel like a little weird because usually you take at least one sip of your beer before you just kind of set it down to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But whatever. The dialogue here is just so casual and fantastic because who meets him into the bathroom?
Mm-hmm. It's I.
Hello, Homer.
He loved the line.
It's so casual.
What does he say? What does Homer say back? He says,
"Oh, hey, Fat Tony, are you still in the mob?"
Hey, you still in the mob?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Thank you for asking. He goes, you had done us, you had done a favor by our, how shall I say it, mafia crime syndicate. Like zero, alliteration at all. I was like, oh yeah. He's like, now the time has come for you to do us a favor.
You mean the mob only did me a favor to get something in return? Oh, Fat Tony. I say good day to you, sir.
Classic Homer in this situation. Fat Tony's like, okay, I will go. He's dejected. He's been chastened.
He walks outside.
Out to the alleyway. He's like, hey, wait a minute.
And that is one of my favorite reads of just ever because it's classic Fat Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, wait a minute.
He got duped. But yeah, I mean, it's Homer in that scene going, oh, Fat Tony.
Right. Yeah, it's very well delivered. I love how casual Homer is with the mob.
Right.
Like he's so familiar with them. Like, he's like, we've worked together before. So now the mob will turn up the heat to get their pretzel money.
The mob is coming for Marge.
And okay, folks, I'm not here to give any advice that I didn't think most people could just figure out on their own. But if you ever get an order to deliver some product to 11905 Dead Weasel Road, don't do it. Just say, not today.
Nothing good has ever happened in an area where they felt the need to name the road Dead Weasel Road.
I don't care if you're bringing out like potato salad and, I don't know, fried chicken with some fresh fruit. And if they say, could you deliver this bountiful bounty that I will like to consume to 11905 Dead Weasel Road. And as you're driving out, it's nothing but desert for miles. Don't do it. But Marge, unfortunately, didn't have this Snerts suggestion.
Intuition, yeah, absolutely.
And she did. And she runs into Fat Tony, Legs, and Louie, who she gets
they literally run her off the road.
It's really well animated, too, right?
Absolutely.
Like with her like freaking out and spinning the wheel,
Oh, yeah. And then Fat Tony walks up to the car, and he starts trying to take the key out, and it's not coming out. And he turns to her and he goes, is there a button or a release for the keys? And Marge is like, oh, you have to push it in to turn. He's like, yes. It's such a funny scene because he breaks up the classic trope where they come in the car, they take the keys, and they're like, now you're ours.
It's also fun
he's
because
working on it for a good second too. They like let him work on it for a second. But for those of us, our listeners that are very young, it used to be that you would have a key that you would put into an ignition on the steering wheel and have to
press the brake.
Right, exactly.
Turn the thing.
Yep.
And now you like have to press the brake, push a button. and what cracks me up is like a button is much easier than a key, but it still like freaks out my mom. She's like, I don't know, I hit the button, I don't know if it's on. I'm like, Mom, it's on, it's running. How do you know? I'm like, hit the gas. Boom. Anyway,
so they're
Marge
putting the screws to
basically it's 100% of the profits are going to be due in 24 hours, and just to show that you're serious, 12 hours. At this point, somebody from the DVD commentary, I think it was Matt, but it could have been Josh, said like we needed to do this joke because of timing and we didn't know how to end it. And this is the point where Matt was like, and I have to take credit for this because I'm the one who came up with the ending here, because they're kind of built against a wall at this point. Like, what do we do? Like, there's not, how do we end this? There's no way to move the plot forward.
I mean, but that line, I love the line. You know,
it's a great line. That's what I'm saying.
You have 24 hours, and to show you we're serious, you have 12 hours.
Because they didn't know how to fill that 24 hours. They're like, what do we have the Simpsons family do for 24
so they're
hours?
like animated up to the point they're like, we could just change the 24 hours. They're like, no. Just add the next line in.
Yeah. And that's how it's complementary to each other, right? Like, you know, the writers get into a background, but the animators.
But it's hilarious that you're saying like this the second time in this episode where like things that were not meant to be, you know, even in the episode ended up being absolutely two of my favorite lines in the episode.
Well, and I also want to credit, there's a crack video out there now by the person whose name I should have written down, but I didn't. So this is just a random shout out, but he did a deep dive interview with Josh Weinstein. Maybe I'll put it in the show notes for this time around.
Not Harvey.
And it was very interesting hearing Josh talk about the writer's room, because he talks about like, there's the guy who was in charge in the chair. And there was a couple things about like, you know, check your ego at the door. No idea is a bad idea. And keep everybody happy and don't shit talk to other people, right? You know, and so when an episode is written originally, it's very rare for the original script not to be edited to shit, and but you still get a sole writing credit. So even though our sole writing credit for this episode was good old, as I look it up as I scroll, Jennifer, you know, she initiated the idea, she had the general outline, but then it's punched up throughout. So that's how you kind of have these moments
punched up.
Yeah. But that's how you come up with these like moments where like someone just comes up with a brilliant idea and you're like, yes, that's what we're doing. We're cutting it from 24 hours to 12. We're going to make it a threatening line. And then we're going to be able to land this plane that's been already going on for too long. So Marge confronts Homer. Homer, I don't know why I was doing like a mo there all of a sudden. Homer, did you tell the mafia that they could eliminate my competitors with a savage beating and attempted murder?
In those words? Yes.
And then there's a deleted scene that talks about like Marge being like, name me one business that was helped out by the mob. and he's like, Las Vegas, boxing. It was a good deleted scene, but like I understand why they cut it. You got to keep the plot moving at this point. Again, trying to land this plane. So Homer gives a speech about like why he's helping Marge. And the one line that I liked out of it was, I saw you desperately trying to cram one more salty treat into America's already bloated snack hole.
Yeah, she's like, Homer, how could you do this? And he's like, how could I not? Because I saw you struggling so hard for it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just kind of like reconciling the conflict, right? It's not really doing anything else. Was there anything that stuck out to you that was funny, or was it just like, we're just trying to go through the motions?
No, not particularly. This is definitely a scene that was trying to kind of push us towards what we now know is the conclusion, kind of reconcile their feelings between each other about what happened.
So, and in short, like Marge refuses to give up the money. And we have more pretzel making, but it's more tense. It's not like the fun montage that we had before. We get a piano slowly playing in the background
the whole time.
Correct, the clock is ticking. The ceiling fan is doing like the what was that movie? Apocalypse Now thing, right? Where it's just moving real slow. And then Marge actually has sweat down her face, which is weird because she didn't have that when she was actually cooking the pretzels. So, you know, maybe another animation error.
And then we get knock, 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 and they both are like, because they're so keyed up for this, you know.
Oh yeah, no, they're
that Tony's coming to kill them.
Pins and needles.
Yeah.
But it's not the mobsters. We get a misdirect.
Grandpa jumping in. I had that dream again.
Oh, thank God. It's only Grandpa, and he slams the door in his face.
And then we get knock, 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 knock.
Oh, what is it this
Now
time?
what? And of course, now it's Fat Tony. Fat Tony goes, "Sorry, we're late.
Yeah,
But
I
I
love how he
have my
says
money now."
I love how he says that he's sorry that he's late. I also love
Right.
the next part because it's so, again, Fat Tony is just a member of the community. He's like, I'm afraid I must insist. You see, my wife, she has been most vocal on the subject of the pretzel monies. Where's the money? When are you going to get the money? Why aren't you getting the money right now? And so on, and so on. So please, the money.
The money's.
And then
You see my wife. Yeah, it's great.
And then he's just basically like, it vents on them because they refuse.
Yeah, because Homer has a bit of a tough time. He's like it's like the mafia, like she's trying to convince Marge, and he doesn't. He sticks with her, and he's like, "No, we're not doing it."
Yeah, because at the end of the day, he is loyal to Marge and his family. That's always one of the core
100%.
aspects of it, and it does shine through in
To
this
the nth
episode.
degree, to eternity and beyond. So,
and I love
here we
how
are.
all of a sudden we get like someone, is it Helen? And she's like, "There you are!" Like a mad housewife brawl is about to get down, bro. Like we're about
Because
to have
Helen,
we're about to have the Mad Housewives of Springfield throw down in the streets, bro.
Helen's like, "Well, isn't Marge Simpson her gangland cronies? Your goon squad certainly gave you the edge in the mobile snack business, but I'm afraid we've outdone you once again."
And then we
And
have
she's
Marge
like,
chiming in.
"Hiroshi, Yukio."
Oh, yeah, of course, Hiroshi Yukuba is like, Marge chimes in. Perhaps you've heard of the Yakuza, the poison fist of the Pacific Rim, the Japanese mafia, and then Agnes for the best line that she delivered throughout the movie. They'll kill you 5 times before you hit the ground.
And so, I mean, look. I listen. The Yakuza just showed up in this episode, so like, you imagine watching this for the first time, and you're like, "How's this gonna go down?" And she shows up, and it's like, "Oh, now what?" And then she's like, "I brought the Japanese mafia, the Yakuza, the famously brutal mafia, to even the score here, guys." Because again,
with the
they
DVD
blew up her
commentary,
van.
with the DVD commentary, Matt's like, "Oh yeah, here's my moment to shine. This is the best thing I've ever contributed to this season of the show. I came up with this ending." And then we get an amazing like fight that starts to break out, and
Oh
we
yeah.
see like the Italian guys with brass knuckles and like choke wires and switchblades, but we have the Yakuza guys with like
They've got
ninja
throwing
stars
stars
and a
and
bow staff and
yeah,
like nunchucks and shit like that.
Bushido blades. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you could go ahead and play the clip that we have, because there's one person not participating, the white suited figure who looks to be a part of the Yakuza. Please play Mob War.
Oh, maybe we should go inside.
But Marge, that little guy hasn't done anything yet. Look at him. He's gonna do something, and you know it's gonna be good.
Aww. It's so funny. It reminds me of like Lethal Weapon, when they had Jet Li,
with Jet Li? Yeah,
and
100%.
he's Asian,
stoic
so,
and just like standing there all like stiff and ready to go.
But the
it's
shorter
amazing.
guy, and that was very much Jet Li's short guy, and
Sure.
so
I mean, so was Bruce.
Yeah. It's great because you see him, and it's just that classic. He's just standing there.
I also
stock
love
still.
how
It's just like,
the mob guys are outnumbered like 5-3, but they're still holding their own. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
Fat Tony literally gets like whipped with a nunchuck, and he's like, "Hey, come here, you little squit."
Oh yeah, he's like, I mean, yeah, it's exactly right. They're tough.
Top
you
down
think
animated
they're about
shots,
to get,
like
yeah.
we have top down animated shots of like Japanese Yakuza people kicking people. Like it's
Yeah.
very well done.
It's
Like,
great. It's great. But to your point, the way that the mob in this one defends themselves is they're badass. Like they're holding their own against the Yakuza. It's fucking great.
They don't even have Johnny Tight Lips and Jimmy the Squealer. But,
I know. Yeah, they're on their way, Josh. They're on their way.
So the parents, Homer and Marge, continue to reconcile their feelings on the kitchen table, and a very sleepy Bart and Lisa come down and be like, Hey, what's going on? And Marge is like, very casually, so casually, oh, it's just a mob war. Go back to sleep, honey. You know?
It
And then to
is
close out
so
the
funny.
episode, we get one more joke because we just need that one more. The guy in the white suit that we were talking about earlier crashes through the kitchen window, bows to the Simpsons on the table, and goes, forgiveness, please, and then runs right back out the front door. Roll credits.
There's a mafia war going on in the front yard.
And then at this point in the DVD commentary, Matt was like, well, maybe that wasn't the best idea ever after all. And
I love it. I love it. And the fact that she's like, it's fine. Just ignore it is just, it's fantastic. I love it so much.
And sometimes you just, again, it's hard to end something. And sometimes you throw out something random and it'll either hit or not. Like I remember seeing this with Brenton back in the day because it is one of my favorite episodes. And I would force him to watch it when we were roommates. And he was like, God, that ending just came out of nowhere.
It's great. I mean, it's great. It tickles me to no end that all like 3 of my favorite jokes in this entire episode were kind of, happenstance in a lot of ways.
Nice. Well, hey, Robin, do you hear that sound?
What's that, Josh?
Well, you know what time it is. It's the
Krusty
Okay, so it is my turn to go. I have to say, overall, I've been really struggling to give this a 4 out of 5. If we did half points, which I don't want to do because I don't want to further complicate my life, I'd probably be a 4.5. But the Twisted World of Marge Simpson is a solid 4. She doesn't get the spotlight as often as Homer and Bart. Usually her episodes focuses on a new job or activity. This one is no different. I liked her feud with the Investorettes and the one-upmanship antics. Jack Lemmon was charming, and his simple ways of appealing to Marge felt right. Like I felt like somebody that Marge would relate to, small-town folk doing small-town business type of thing. The jokes are consistent throughout, and the different settings in the 3 chapters, from the franchise expo to the pretzel selling, I mean, even to like I would include the baseball scene for the pretzel selling part, and the monster help kind of mixes things up, even though they're the same central theme throughout. There are a lot of popular one-liners and scenes that come from this episode. I also think it's interesting that no one could figure out an ending. Remember, young writers, if you can't figure out an ending, just add a mob war. If it worked for Matt,
it's called the Yakuza strategy. Yeah.
There you go. What do you think, man? What are your final thoughts and score?
It's a classic Simpsons episode, literally and figuratively. It really reminds me, oddly, of earlier seasons. This particular one, like seasons like 4 and 5, in there. We got Fat Tony, who I love, of course. We got Helen is really great in this. Edna, jokes like the mob dropping the scouts off at city limits, like they'll come back. It's a heyday episode. I mean, it's not one that kind of stuck in my psyche the same way it stuck in yours back in the day. But you see where the legacy is being born that would make this show last another 500 episodes. The Yakuza episode, it's almost enough. I think I had a decision. It's funny that you said that 4.5 to 5. I was at 3.5 to 4. Gotcha. It's up there. It's not like one of my seminal episodes, but it's so classic. But the Yakuza, for me, I love it so much, so that knocks it up to a 4. So I give it a solid 4, and I'm very happy with my score.
2 things that I find interesting about your comments there. One is Josh and Bill said season 4 is the pinnacle. Oh God, too many beers. Can't say that word. The ultimate season for The Simpsons. Mm-hmm. And when they were doing their run at the show, they were trying to mirror that season as much as possible. Mm-hmm. enough silly Homer episodes, a couple Marge episodes, a couple Lisas, a few Barts, and then some wild ones that just kind of mess with the formula. So that completely makes sense. I also find it interesting that you were like on the 3.5 to 4, and I was like on the 4.5 to 5, and then we met both
There's
in the middle.
something there that it's not got that little screw turn.
There's just something missing
there. Yeah. And it's it's funny that you said that, because that's exactly was there's some little sparkle there that would push it right to a 5.
And you talk about echelons as well, and you're just kind of like it feels like it's
not quite
very close. It's almost like me and everything in life. You're a B+ student and you're not going to be an A. Just accept it. You're still great.
My entire life
you're still great.
Was, I don't have to do much and I can get a B. That's the gift I was given. Yep.
Nice. Well, that's a wrap for Sacrilicious with Robin and Snerts. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please do all the cliche things, the liking, the following, the commenting, or just tell a friend. We are currently on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcast. Also, hopefully for our listeners out there, we're also in your hearts. The Snerts shoutouts are Ghost of Yote.
Pants.
There, you just had to ruin it. Had it like it was such a nice, sweet moment, and you're just like, pants.
You were saying about your friend who has a podcast?
It's talking about a video game that I want to play. Ghost of Yote. Good Lord, I love this game. I've been looking forward to it a long time. This is the sequel of Ghost of Tsushima. It takes place in the 1600s Japan era, and you play Atsu, who is on a quest of revenge to kill the Yote Six. This is a reason why I own a PS5. It takes full advantage of all the features that the controller has. The graphics like just slap you in the face as soon as the game opens, and it's one of the most I will stop playing because I'm on a summit and there's just so much pretty landscape, and I put out my little smoking device and I just sit there and be like, and you know what's the best part? I didn't have to climb that mountain. It's the combat is there. I have put, since it came out on 70 hours into this game. That's how much I love it. I've only put into this podcast probably like 4 to 5 hours. So I just want to gush on it. Sucker Punch, please continue to do what you're doing. This is, to me, the pinnacle of gaming. It's my favorite genre. Thank you for the awesome experience and just taking all that wonderful time that I could have been doing something productive in society. Also, Dr. Moxford, the raddest fan of them all.
The Doctor.
Do you want to hear more from your old pal Snerts? You just
you want to hear more from me? In your pants.
Anyway, you want to hear more from your old pal Snerts? Then check out the PlayStation Experience and PSVG on your podcast platform of choice. I can also be found on most of the things at Lord_Snerts. Robin, outro, plugs, rants, what you got?
I want to give a shout out to my queer family. Went down to the parade with my ex Charles, who's so keyed into the Atlanta scene. It's been great. I haven't had that classically everywhere I've lived. You should check out his podcast, A Guy and a Buffy podcast. All Stripes, my queer supporters group for the soccer team, Atlanta United. They were there in force, and it was great. I got to wave at them, and they came over and gave me hugs. It was wonderful. All my lovely, homos, lesies, dykes, cross-dressers, trannies, bis, polys, leather daddies, queers, some furries in there. A big thank you to all who came before us and allowed us to march out there today. It was really, really wonderful. I want to encourage everybody to donate even a little to one of my favorite charity organizations, the Trevor Project, Suicide Prevention, the trevorproject.org.org. Especially now the trans community is being demonized by the state. Organizations like this are the only thing standing between a trans or a queer youth who's been ostracized from his community and suicide. So wonderful, wonderful organization, the trevorproject.org, and you will find a link to that in our show notes.
Nice, man. Well, also, I just want to say it's nice to hear more positive shout outs, plugs, and rants from you. I don't mind the negative stuff every once in a while, but I was very curious. I was like, I hope hope we're a little bit positive on this one.
Absolutely.
So our goal
it was pretty rough, you know.
It was rough,
right afterwards. Like, I don't know what I was on that day. I went down some weird place. I was holding it all inside.
Well, and that's why we have the ability to edit, my good friend.
Thank God for that.
Our goal is to get the next episode out on November 2nd. Is that right? Oh shit, did I?
November 9th.
Yeah, see, I thought I screwed that up. Yeah, okay. So we're recording on November 2nd. We're going to get out on the 9th. We're getting that time of year again, folks. It's going to be a little bit busy as we get into my day job. November and December are always crazy. So that will be our last episode for the calendar year. It will not be our last episode for the season. But hopefully we're going out with a banger. So on November 9th, you should be hearing our takes on Treehouse of Horror 21 from season 22. Robin, why did you want to go for that Treehouse of Horror instead of the original OG, like you said a couple weeks ago?
The original OG, I don't know, it's just felt played out. I've watched it, not that long ago. This one stuck out when I've been doing my later season watches because it has Daniel Radcliffe doing a Twilight thing that's really funny.
So he plays a sparkling vampire instead of Robert Patterson. Gotcha.
Yeah, and
okay.
Does vampires instead of witches, and you know what? I really like Daniel Radcliffe as an actor. I like the decisions he's made, the paths he's gone. I think he's funny as hell, self-deprecating, and yeah, I thought he was great.
Yeah, I agree, and it's nice that you picked a later Treehouse of Horror as well, because it's so easy to go back to the well, right? And let's face it, like the first 10 or so have probably been done ad nauseum.
Exactly.
Although I did encourage some folks to go for the one when Homer went in 3D. But obviously my encouragement doesn't mean shit. Robin, hit me with that sweet quote.
And while you're there, would you pick up some of that nice green moon money for me, Royce McCutcheon? No deal, McCutcheon. That moon money is mine.
So until next time, folks, smell you later, true believers.
Bye now.
No deal, McCutcheon. That moon money is mine.
You're supposed to be tasting them.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.